Hello everybody and welcome to a new series for my channel. Now this is a 7 days to die run and it is co-op with Aavak. So I'm going to be playing this with him. We are hoping this time to actually get all the way through to day 49. So for those of you that don't know what 7 days to die is, it's an open world game. It is survival. It is slightly horror. It's got some zombies in it. It's got some shooting in it. So it's very different to what I normally do. And yet somehow it is a game that grips me and I really enjoy playing it and bashing things and letting out my inner shady Sheelab. So yeah, I do enjoy playing this game quite a lot, and we are going to be playing Alpha 17.4. Alpha 18 is just around the corner, but we are going to continue playing this one because when 17 released, it had some bugs and things like that that needed to be ironed out. So we feel that spending, you know, a few weeks just doing 17 would be good prior to maybe an 18 run, if you guys are interested enough in seeing that. So I hope you all enjoy, and without further ado, let's go play.
Hello everyone and welcome to 7 Days to Die. So here we are in the game proper, where Lady Sheelab and I have taken some time to meet up, because honestly the way servers work is I'm fairly certain the server intentionally tries to put you as far away from any other players on the server as it possibly can.
I think so.
So yeah, the first day is usually spent running for like I don't know, 13 kilometers to try and meet up with your friends. So we've cut that bit out to save a little bit of time. We haven't done anything. We're basically fresh spawns.
This
so
is why we're naked. See?
Naked. I'm wearing undergarments. How dare. We've got the basic survival, like, tutorial quest. Now, the tutorial quest is pretty cool. It's not so much on rails, but it's very short. It teaches you the super basics of how to craft and some things that'll probably help you stay a little bit more alive than otherwise.
So should we do this together, this tutorial?
Yes, we really should. So the first thing is to gather some plant fiber, which you do kind of Minecraft style by punching the things that have the plant fiber.
Punch the plants.
Yeah. Though, unlike Minecraft, punching trees is less effective. I mean, you will get wood from it, but it actually feels like you're being a bit of an idiot and punching trees.
It does feel like you're about to break your hand.
Earlier on is to punch more woody bushes. It's still a little bit dumb, but it's fine. This is what open world survivals are these days. We're just going to have to accept it. There we go. I've got more than enough now. It's probably worth collecting a little bit more than you need. Right, now, bedroll time for me. How are you doing, Sheelab?
I am just making my bedroll. It is just cooking in my crafting menu.
Marvelous. A cooked bedroll, fresh out of the oven.
Yes.
I'll grab a stone as well if I can.
It is ready.
Nope.
And I shall put it on the road.
You rebel, you. I mean, I would say it's fine because there are no cars, but we may actually have cars one day, and if we run over your bedroll, that's on you, be it.
If I don't have more bedrolls by the time we have a car, there's something seriously wrong.
I know, right? I am already making a second one, by the way.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I strongly recommend you make two.
Okay.
One to place it down wherever you started. Ow, I just walked into a cactus. Bloody cactus. The other one to place down a bit later, because you're going to want to. Additionally, you probably don't need your water or your food on your hotbar. In my experience, you don't. But one thing you always want on your hotbar is your bandage. And a torch is the first weapon you're going to have, basically.
Yep. Yeah, get your weapons and your torch and your bandage.
Now, got to collect some more stones. You can do this by, you know, punching big rocks, or you can be a lot cleverer and just walk up to small rocks and press E to pick them up. I feel that this is a bit of a no-brainer. Punching rocks is almost as dumb as punching trees.
Yep.
Really. It will achieve your aim. It'll just look really dumb, and it'll take you an age to do. This game does not go easy on you when you're trying to you know, coax wood out of trees or stones out of rocks by punching them. It takes a long time.
It doesn't take too long for the trees.
Well, no, the trees, no.
Where's all the stones gone? I'm going to have to run to find them.
I have got a stone axe. Now, the stone axe is just amazing because it can do all of the things that I was just lamenting that you had to do by punching. That is, you can get stone from large boulders by using your stone axe on it, and you can get wood from trees I guess, you know, that's technically correct. You're removing part of the tree from the tree with the axe, but it's probably one of the best tools, honestly. Later on, you'll get specialist tools that do any one particular job a lot better. But the stone axe is one of those ones that can do so many things. There you go. Doing a little bit of looting as well, because you're going to use so many materials early on. You may as well just grab a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Right, Sheila, are you still having trouble with rocks?
No, I found enough to get my stone axe, so now I can start just bashing rocks. Thank you.
Excellent.
We should be friends.
Oh, we
Why
should.
don't we be friends?
Right. There we go. Ally invite sent.
Lovely.
Now, this starting area is fantastic because you've got temperate over there and desert over here. Desert is pretty good because you've got yucca. It's a good early source of hydration and satiation.
Yeah.
Satiety? Is it satiety? I'm not sure.
I think it's satiety.
Food and drink. But also, it has aloe, which, if you can just gather enough to make an aloe farm, you're going to be okay for healing items for a while.
Are we in a party? Because I can't see your little arrow to see where you are.
Let me do that. Donk. Invite sent. Or rather,
Wonderful.
no,
Accepted?
I've accepted your invite, yes.
Perfect. As long as I can see where you are, I'm happy.
There you go. Now we've got a little compass. You're 40
Let's
meters
get our
away.
clothes done now.
That does not look like 40 meters. Right, yeah. Up next, we've got to make some clothing. Now, initially, we're going to be just kind of zooming through these early quests here because we've got a limited time. This is a game with night and day, and also
Night is
zombies.
not your friend.
Yeah, because of the aforementioned zombies. Generally, zombies are not great, but in the day, they shamble. In the night, they run, and that sucks. Let's go ahead and wear all of these.
Especially if they're mean zombies, if they're particularly strong ones.
Yes. There we are.
Or particularly numerous.
Generally speaking, it's not too bad, I think. Here we go.
I'm slowly putting my clothes on.
Right, warm fiber plant clothing.
We are dressed now. So, next is clubs, isn't it?
Yes.
Right, yes.
I should be able to make a wooden club straight away. But first, I'm just taking out my wrath on these cacti that hurt me so at the beginning. There we go. Don't
I know, they're so mean. How dare they?
Ooh. Another cactus. Just waiting there. With its spines. Right, okay, let's chop down this tree. Oh, this is an old tree.
1200 tree.
Yeah, the trees, based on their age, will have a certain durability. The higher the durability, the more wood you're going to get out of it, basically, because it takes you longer to chop it down, and each chop is getting you a certain amount of wood. I think 1,200 is the highest the durability on a tree can go, and they'll scale up in size based on their age and so on and so forth. You can have a very old forest, and it'll be gigantic compared to a very young one.
And the better your axe and the higher your stamina, the more damage you will do to the tree.
Yes, very much so. Right, wooden club time. I'll move my tools down into about there. As with Terraria, and in fact Minecraft, and pretty much anything where you can chop down trees, please plant the trees again afterwards if you've got any seedlings. It's super useful, especially if it's around your base. Don't deforest your base. I know it is the dappling way, but resist.
Those dapplings and chopping down trees, I don't know, the amount of times.
They will never be forgiven for Ark. Never. It's
yeah,
never
I
going to
know.
go away.
Do you remember Worm as well?
Oh yeah, Worm Online. Right, grabbing some chrysanthemums because we can use that to make blessed tea. Goldenrod is also a acceptable substitute. Also some cotton because cotton can be turned into cloth, and cloth can be turned into bandages.
Which I will need.
And bandages can be turned into not bleeding to death, which I'm very fond of.
So I may make more arrows than it strictly tells me to do because I like to have a lot of them if I can.
Look at Sheila making bows and arrows while I'm collecting the cotton. My lord.
I apologise for getting ahead of you. I'll wait for you to do your own arrows.
You felt bad. Now I feel bad for making you feel bad.
No, but we said we would do the quest together, and then I got ahead of you.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm faffing around collecting chrysanthemums. It's my fault. I stopped up to pick flowers. Right. So we
Stopped
need
to
make
smell
some
the
stone
roses.
arrows.
That's important in life.
What do I need? Oh, I'm lacking stone. Okay. I shall need to collect more of that then. Need stone for the arrowheads. I
Yeah.
may actually take some time just chopping up one of these rocks.
Well,
Would you
this
like
is
to
what I
help,
was saying.
Sheila? Do
I
you need
think
any?
it's. I'll chop a rock as well because I think it'd be good for us to have as many arrows as possible.
Yeah.
What time are we at now? We're midday.
That's not too bad.
We're still
There's
not too bad.
plenty of houses. We've started right next to a city. Now, that can both be good and bad because, much like Cataclysm, cities are where the zombies live.
Yes.
Because that's where the people lived. And the people became the
Yes.
zombies.
So finding a small house to the edge of the city.
Would be ideal.
Or a little bit on the outskirts, maybe. Little farm cottage somewhere.
Yeah.
Would be good.
Items have durability, by the way, but as long as you have the material necessary to repair them, you can just go ahead and repair them in your inventory very, very quickly, generally speaking. And with a stone axe, all you need is a little bit of... It's either stone or wood. I think it's stone.
Yes, a piece of stone to repair your stone axe.
On that note, I've just used all of my stone up for arrowhead, so I should probably make sure I've got some spare. Because as you can see, this is going down really fast. The level of the item dictates its level of durability, its maximum durability. So as we gain levels and take perks, which we will cover once we get to spending skill points, we'll be able to make higher durability, higher damage items. And so, we're not going to burn through half of an axe on a single rock.
Yeah.
Though I feel that's a little bit down to me using a stone axe on a stone rock. Really?
Yeah.
I really have on myself to blame.
Or maybe you can imagine it's actually flint or something, a little bit more.
Well, that'd be even worse. Flint is super brittle.
I suppose.
Very sharp, super brittle though. I mean, a flint axe would make sense. Because then you want
for wood.
the sharpness of the blade.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There we go. Honk. All right, where's Sheelab gone?
Sheelab has gone on a little feather finding quest.
Okay. I think that should be...
But she's on her way back. Oh, a zombie!
Right, there we go. So, I could go ahead and repair this stone axe, and I probably should, actually. Clonk.
Wow, really?
There we are. What's wrong?
My very first swipe at a zombie, and I missed, and it hit me. That's so embarrassing.
Well, these things will happen.
So embarrassing.
Lady Sheelab is actually very good at melee in this game, so I'm going to put that entirely down to just being rusty. We haven't played this game for a while. Also, I forgot that I need to...
really? No, my bandage. No, my bandage already. Come on.
You little scoundrel, you.
Suck.
How dare. That's what you get. I managed to pick up quite a lot of cotton, so I'll go ahead and make some of that
into bandages. That would be lovely.
Cloth and then into bandages. There we go. I'll be able to make 3 bandages. Bandages are, as we've already mentioned, the way that you generally stop yourself from bleeding to death.
Yeah, I might want to just be using my bow for a bit and melee when I'm a little stronger.
A really funny thing. Oh man, I just sent that way over its shoulder. I feel bad. I'm shooting you in the beard. This feels so wrong to me. But,
Dead? Dead?
No, not yet.
Dead. Well, I don't think shooting these guys is too headshotty because he's got a helmet on.
Yeah, the headshots do very little damage to a biker because of the aforementioned helmet. However, you can collect the arrows after they're dead, but I was about to demonstrate that you can just walk straight up to them, pull the arrows out of their face, whilst they're still shambling towards you. I mean, there's a good chance they're going to wallop you when you do it, or they're going to try, but it's really funny to do all the same. Right. Okay, so the next part of our quest is to make a couple of frames. Let me go ahead and do that. There you go. Sheelab, shall we start making our way towards the buildings?
Yes, I think so.
There are a couple of zombies around. It would be nice to have a building on the very edge of the town, but I don't think we're going to be that lucky. I can't see one.
Yeah. I'm just going to be 2 seconds. I'm going to just make some more, queue up some more arrows.
Yeah, sure.
There we go, done. So, yeah, so anything that you like the look of, really, that's not too big. Not going to take too long to clear.
Because we are at 1 o'clock. Now, by default, a day is 60 minutes long. So, roughly speaking, an hour is about 3-ish minutes long. So you've got to keep that in mind because, again, by default, because you can change this, a day is 18 hours long, and then the remaining hours are considered nighttime, and that's when the zombies get really, really nasty. Usually the night will start at 10 p.m. and end at 4 a.m. Let's have a look in here. But you can change a lot of these things. Making shorter days will shorten the night, but will shorten the day as well. Like if you make a 24-hour period take less than 60 minutes, that might on the surface appear like a good move. In reality, you're increasing the difficulty quite a lot because you have less time to scavenge for things, and the nights are going to roll around faster and faster and faster.
You do a very good job of explaining things that a lot of people, I think, take for granted when they play this game a lot.
Oh, thank you. Right, okay, I'm going to just take you out with a club to the face, if I possibly can land it. There we go. There are two types of attacks. There's the weak attack, does a little bit of damage, costs a little bit of stamina, and then the strong attack does a lot more damage. Going for the head is almost always worth it, but it's worth it a lot more once you've got some perks. This is a warehouse, and it might be largely an empty warehouse. I don't know, Sheila. What are you thinking? Can you see a better, like a house? I'm seeing big buildings around.
Yeah, I know. I'm not liking this.
Let's wander through. We'll kill off this zombie here, but the barbed wire over the top of that place is not too welcoming either. Now the problem with the heavy blows is they can consume a lot of your stamina very quickly. And once you're out of stamina, as you might imagine, you can't really run away very easily.
Also, we have friendly fire on at the moment, which is why I'm being very tentative about getting in front of Aavak's blows.
Yes.
Don't want to get hit by him or accidentally hit him.
Lady Sheilab is a very big proponent for friendly fire in games. And she feels that it will encourage you to learn to be more accurate with your attacks.
Yeah, I do.
If you don't have to worry about smacking your friends with your attacks, then you're just going to start swinging wildly.
Yeah.
And it won't encourage you to take your time.
Yeah, and to take care.
Shot. Right, this building looks like it might be a promising one for an initial day's rest.
Right, okay.
It'll probably be fairly easy to clear. I'm going to walk the perimeter, wipe out the zombies. If you want to have a first
Which
look
one
inside,
do you mean? The junkyard to the left? Or
No,
the right?
concrete building to the right.
Okay. So what did you want me to do? Just go in and have an initial look?
Yeah. It looks like there's a second story, which is the ideal. Is there a way up? Because basically we want some... actually, it's a little bit isolated.
I think it's a bit ramshackle, honestly.
Yeah.
There's no basements or anything like that.
Yeah, I was hoping it might have been a bit more defined.
There's a couple of buildings looking like over there. Did you just let off a mine?
No, but that's probably the junkyard.
That'll be stuff, yeah.
Junkyards are horrible for mines. There we go. My club is taking a bit of damage, but it's not too much so
I
far.
was thinking maybe one of the buildings on the outskirts, just over here, look. Up the road.
Okay, I'll follow along in just a moment.
I'll go check them out.
Ooh, colourful. Let's take care of you as well. Don't leave enemies behind yourself. Oh, I can hear another one somewhere. It's in the junkyard trying to beat its way through. Got another one up top there as well. You're still alive. You haven't died yet. Easy way to tell if they're dead. You'll get EXP when they die. I'm on my way now, Sheilab.
I keep getting hit. It's really embarrassing.
Oh.
I only got hit once, but like I always worry because like I could bleed. And I haven't made any bandages because I'm stupid. Right, let's make some bandages.
On that note, yeah, I haven't turned my...
Cotton into bandages.
Cotton into bandages either.
Nope, nor have I.
I do apologise. I can make 5, so that should be enough for us for a while.
Cloth fragments, isn't it?
Yeah. You make the cotton into cloth, and then the cloth into bandages. 2 cotton per cloth, 2 cloth per bandage, I believe.
I'll make 1 bandage out of that, but 1 is better than none.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that junkyard is a bit of a death trap, I think, for us.
Yeah, let's not choose that as our base.
No. I mean, it's going to be a
No.
temporary base for now, because once we've completed the end of our quest chain,
Yeah.
the survival quest chain, starter base that we're on right now, we will be given a lump of skill points to spend, and then be given our next destination, which will be a trader that we'll need to go to. And once you reach the trader, that's the end of the tutorial quest chain.
I was thinking possibly this building in front of us, but it might be a little bit difficult to get into. I'm not sure.
Let's have a look
It might be a
around.
bit big as well. It looked smaller from a distance.
There are lots of cars in there, but we might be able to. I'll see if I can't find one. Here we are. Is
An
that
easy
wood
way in,
there?
like a couple of
I think
boards. No, that's a board
metal,
and a...
actually. Is this going to be easy for us to break? Let me have a look. No. No, that's got way too much durability.
Super
I want something that's
defended.
made of wood, not metal. We could build a way in over the top, though.
Yeah.
Got some zombies wandering around. This is a pretty defended place, but that makes it a good place to sleep. That is a military base.
Don't want to go in there. Well, we do want to go in there, but when we're way more high level.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're going to have to build a way up and in. Some
Yeah,
corn over
what
there.
kind of zombies we got in there? A few, like, workers.
Technicians. Yeah. By the looks of it, it's most technicians.
Zombie to your right.
Yep. Right, on it. Dunk. And dunk. Ah, I missed the headshot there. Oop, I missed that one.
Nice.
Colorful. Okay, I'm going to drop down my frames with a view to making a way up.
Nice.
And as part of my quest, I can then upgrade these. The frames themselves, you can walk on them. You can also shoot through them. But a small breeze will break them. So you want to upgrade them. And that's why the axe is particularly useful, because it can upgrade. Right. What I would recommend you do, Sheelab,
get that sleeper.
is... yeah, okay. We'll take this one out first. Oh, you've done a good job there. Firing in now. Oh, you did
down.
it. Well done. Okay.
Grab my arrows.
Unfortunately, there's no easy way to not shoot your arrow. Could you place your frames on the inside here?
I have not made them yet, but yes. So yeah, we can get back out. That's a good idea.
Because we do not know.
We may need an escape route.
Yes, exactly. Be very cautious moving around here, because this looks like a prime place for some mines. Some containers are more likely to contain useful loot than others. And you'll... Ooh, I found a bunch of bullets. The sort of stuff you'll find in containers does make sense more often than not. If you're looking in a kitchen cupboard, you're going to find kitchen cupboard supplies. Looking under a sink, you might find bleach, you might find acid. Don't ask. Looking in the car, you might find, spares for car repair, or a little bit of everything. Looking in a toilet cistern, you might find a pistol. For obvious reasons, really. Who doesn't hide their pistol in a toilet? Sheelab, I just found an iron pickaxe. Well,
ooh,
that is,
nice.
quite nice.
Hey, they can't get in. Or they might be able to
they
eventually.
will eventually.
Yeah.
Let's
So, like,
not
should we get outside and kill them?
anger them.
We'll find a nice little
maybe.
building.
Yeah, let's head on back out and start wiping them out. Just so that they don't break our new base.
Yeah, they don't break our nice defense.
I'm wondering if they'd ever have the means to, but I wouldn't really want to try it. And another arrow there, or I can go for the melee. Ooh, I missed. Straight over his head. There we go.
Nicely done.
Now, it used to be that zombies would always drop
my
loot.
arrow.
Yeah, they're still wailing on that.
Oh, we've now attracted those two.
I'm going to go and clear the ones from the gate on this side.
I'll get these guys then.
And while I'm doing that, because I'm super good at multitasking, I'm going to make a campfire.
Oh, darn it. Missed you.
Hello. I believe this is Zombie Mo. I believe that is Zombie Steve. I don't know the Zombie Biker's name. Other than Zombie Biker, really. Pick Steve up. Steve should be fairly easy to take down. There we go. The
Zombie bikers are hard.
Yeah, mostly because their helmets protect them from a lot of damage. I'm going to switch my bow and arrow for now because...
I don't know the tourist's name either.
I think they are just called Zombie Tourist. But largely, I don't want to have to deal with the Zombie Biker just yet because my stamina is super low. Take care of Mo. There we go. Another colourful kill. Alright, let's have a watch of you. Swamp. Right, moving in.
Did we go down?
For melee. Nice thing with blunt weapons like this is they've got a decent chance of stunning. There we are, he's down. Took a bit more work than I would have liked.
Yeah, it's fine.
Right, let's head back in and continue.
So we're clear now. They've
figuring this out, yeah. It's up to 6 now, though. Or, well, 7:30. But
I would say probably maybe that building to the left.
Left
there?
or the right?
To the left there, the smaller of the two.
Okay. Start crouching because if there's something asleep inside,
You might be able to get it.
It's gonna, we might be able to kill it while it's down. Get some high damage shots. Anyone in there?
Rubbish on the floor. It's making noise.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Pull back. Hello. Okay. Zoom in. Man, I am so bad at shooting you in the head. I feel ashamed. 3 shots, I think.
I've been missing constantly as well.
Wow, I down to get back up. Shouldn't be. You're faking it here. Oh, this goes down.
Oh, you found his friend. Oh, should we do the other building then?
No, maybe as well. We've already started here.
Started, so finished. Well, you don't know what's downstairs, though.
That is true. But we don't know what's upstairs in the other building, so...
That's true.
It's one or the other, really. But yeah, the little rubbish on the floor, while it does just look like a texture, is actually a...
it will wake them up.
Source of sound. If you move over it at any great speed, there's a good chance you're going to cause a bit of a ruckus. There's a zombie over there slowly beating its way through. A bit annoying.
Where is it?
It's out on the outside right behind you.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, annoying.
Right, I'm going to break my way into this room.
And then we'll see what we've got.
I'll have a look down. It's going to take me a little while. Do you want to go take care of the zombie?
Outside zombie.
Outside? Because the thing is, the zombies themselves are making sound, and that will attract other zombies.
I'll just run around and get him.
Thank you.
We don't have a ton of time, so... We're making progress, though. Yep. Oh, gosh, there's blinking things everywhere.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm just worried that we're running out of time before we manage to get rid of all these guys.
This is like a substation down here. I mean, that makes sense considering what's above it, but it looks like they barricaded themselves in here. Like those workers barricaded themselves in, or someone on the other side put up the barricade, but for the looks of the barricade, it was the people in here who barricaded themselves in, or barricaded whatever was in the other building out. Just going to grab a little bit of loot from everything I can while I'm here.
Cowboy now.
They're not particularly tough to kill.
Yeah,
cowboys.
He broke through one piece of the wall. So there's a couple of holes in the wall now, but like nothing awful. Probably just took out the wooden bits, to be honest.
Yeah. All those little...
Okay, cowboy's down.
Because zombies can happily fall down. Okay, what's going on over there? That may actually be a bunch of zombies.
Okay,
so
I think that's everyone
worried about that
was hurting the thing. So I'm just going to sneak around a bit now.
Okay.
So how are you doing in the building?
Well, I've worked my way down onto this side. There is some sort of like control room for the power station, the substation here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Defensible
fine.
enough then? Yeah.
Yeah, more or less. But it does have like what looks like a bit of a flimsy barricade that leads to the other room, which I'm not as happy about
That's
because
keen
that
on,
building is
yeah.
huge. Still, being downstairs is better than being upstairs in terms of drawing attention. So what I'm going to do, I've got 80 wood. I'm going to make a secure door with 4 of it.
Okay.
Make a secure chest with 10 of it.
How much do
pop
I
this
have?
door down.
22 myself.
Now, if... There we are. So that door is now leading out. I can upgrade that with the axe as I did with the frames. Just so it's a little bit more solid. I'd need some iron to upgrade it further.
Yeah, we're not going to get that yet.
Any kind of window piece. Boarded up window would do. Let's have a look through.
It looks like beyond this barricade there's another barricade as well. So as long as we stay away from that and don't try and draw too much heat, I think we'll be okay for the night.
Okay. Well, I'm going to place down some more frames just to isolate the outside, because the more places you can prevent sound getting out through, the safer you're going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a sense.
So you just replace the wood there and the door there. Yeah. Nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to quickly loot this box. Yeah, we've taken care of everything else around here. Right. Okay. The last part of my quest is to place down a campfire. Where are you with your quest?
I need to upgrade wood frames. Unfortunately, I didn't upgrade the ones outside. I could go and do that quickly.
You could just build more wood frames for all of their costs, or I can place 2 of them right now.
Yeah, I can just make some more. It's not a problem.
Right, I'll place 1, 2 just down here.
I could put some outside this barricade even. I could put them across here.
That would actually be a good idea. The nice thing with wood frames is if they're not damaged, although they're super flimsy, you can just straight up pick them up. There we go. That would help isolate some of the sound here. Have you got enough wood to upgrade it all?
I do not think I do. Oh, I do. Hang on. So why am I not?
It's right click to upgrade.
Oh, you know what? My axe is needing repair.
Ah, okay.
That's fine. I'll do that now.
Right. Now, my inventory is full of random gubbins right now.
Do you have a stone?
Some of the tiles... yeah, I do. How much do you want?
Just one.
I'll drop 15. There you go. Just on my... actually, I'll bring it over to you.
I was going to say, where are you? You're like around the other side of there.
No, I've come back.
No!
The Benny Hill music intensifies. I know.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. While you're taking care of that and you upgrade those tiles, I'll be back over here by the fireplace.
Lovely.
I'm going to pop down this office chair as if it would help in any way. Left click to
I ran out of wood to upgrade them, but I finished my quest, so that's fine.
I'll come and upgrade them.
There's a couple more that could do some upgrading. And I need a campfire.
There we are. Perfect. I can drop you some more wood if you need.
No, I'm good for the campfire, so that's fine.
Excellent.
And we can put that this is in the middle of the floor here. Yay.
A somewhat defensible little location for us. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my secure storage chest up here on the wall.
My campfire down there.
Unlikely to be damaged by any combat with zombies. I'm also going to unlock it so that Lady Sheila can use it. There we go. And with
good stuff.
That, what I was about to cover is that you'll notice that my inventory, like at first glance, you might imagine that these spots can't contain anything because of the icon. But what it means is that every spot in my inventory can be filled, but if anything is on these spots, I'm encumbered. And that has various negative connotations. So I'm going to drop off anything I strictly don't need. Right now, raw iron is included in that. Aloe vera as well. The chrysanthemums and the bullets. I haven't got a gun, so that carrying the bullets around doesn't help me in any way. And with that, I'll just sort my inventory. Right. Do you have enough plant fiber to make yourself another bedroll, Sinab?
How much you needed? 20. I'm 4 short, I think.
Okay, I can most certainly sort you out with that. I'll pop it into the chest as soon as you're clear.
Wonderful, I'm clear.
Yep. Bonk. There you go. Now this is why I gather so much early on.
Yeah.
Right, by placing down a bedroll, you create a spawn point, and this is infinitely more defensible than the spawn point.
Bedroll, because you told me to make one earlier. So now I have a spare bedroll and one to put in here.
It's fine. It's fine. Spares are never bad.
Spares are never bad.
Having a bedroll in here is much better than the bedroll out randomly on the side of the road, right at our spawn location. It is going to be about another 3 minutes until nighttime kicks in, and then things are going to get a little bit interesting. I've got enough wood for now to keep this fire going for a while. Have I got much in the way of food? I really don't, which is a bit of a shame, but...
I have... we don't have anything to cook with yet, do we? I have 1 egg or something like that I put in and a can of chili.
Yeah, I've got 6 eggs. Well, I've picked up the eggs that you had. And I've got 1 bottle of water.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat the can of chili so that the next time we find a water source, we can fill the can with water. Because right now we can't boil water. We have nothing to boil the water in. You can't boil it in a glass jar. But you can boil it in a can. So it's one way of sterilizing water. But I'm going to just drop...
That's one thing to look for, isn't it, soon?
Yeah. I can use my bottled water to make boiled eggs. I don't think that's a good trade. I need the water more right now. We've got the can of chili, so... Pickaxe was a great find because it's going to be a long time before we can use those. Actually, the chrysanthemum... Maybe useful.
My food and water aren't bad though. I've got 120 out of 100 food and 123 out of 100 water. So it might last a while.
I can't make tea. I don't know how to make... This is the worst day of my life. I do not know how to make tea.
You do not know how to put leaves into hot water. That is a particular...
travesty.
Kind of special, isn't it?
Okay. I'm going to turn on the fire just so we've got some light in here.
Yeah.
Now, the thing with fires is, as much as anything else...
It attracts zombies.
Yeah, it's creating heat. Not necessarily the heat variety of heat, but it's like there's a heat map. So it's making sound, it's making light. It is actually... it's a form of industry. So all of these things can attract zombies, but that's why down here it's not so bad. We're deep underground. There's
We're both
much
crouched,
smaller chance.
You may notice as well.
Yes. Much smaller chance of that attracting any attention. In the bottom left of the screen, you can see that little eye icon, and that with the number 6 next to it. Me just standing here, I'm making that much attention. Now, normally walking around, you're at 100, so you know we're fairly quiet. The moment you start to move, you start to make a little bit more attention, and it takes a little bit of time to go down. It can accumulate.
Yeah.
There we go. There's the audio
scary
cue
music.
Night has begun.
Ooh.
Standing up, you don't even see it, which is a bit of a shame because I kind of would like that. But this is how likely a zombie is to find us. But okay, this is where we're going to be spending the night, more or less. There's no point in us wandering around. At night, zombies are much, much more dangerous than at day, so we're just going to chill out.
And our trader is 2 kilometers away, so that'll be a little bit of a trek to do on the morrow at some point, while trying to find a cookpot.
Where is the trader? Trader is directly north. Oh yeah, that is going to be a bit of a wander actually. Yeah. Now we've taken things a bit slowly here, just to allow us to explain things a bit more thoroughly. Because if you're trying to move at the sort of pace that you get used to once you're accustomed to the game, you don't have time to properly explain things that are going on because you're getting into lots of fights with zombie vultures and dogs and bears and oh my. But while we're here, we can go over skill points because we've actually, oh my lord,
we've got some to spend.
So much, so many little bits of notes in our journal. But we're going to be going over to the skill points for now. Skill points in this game, I mean, you can get armor, you can get different types of weapons, and your equipment matters a lot, but skill points are where it's at. They allow you to make different things. They give you different types of perks in the way that you fight. And skills are kind of broken down into perks that are attached to a certain type of attribute. I shouldn't say skills, but for all intents and purposes, they are skills. You've got perks and their levels, and the attribute they're attached to and its level. The attribute itself, every point in it will increase your ability in some way. For example, I'll work through the perception tree, and it'll probably be a little bit easier to see as I'm showing things out. So the perception attribute costs 1 point per until later on, then it starts costing more and more and more. If I spend that 1 point, I'll get level 2, which will increase my range weapon damage by 5% and the accuracy of my weapons by 2%. You may have noticed that when I was zooming in with my bow, when I was sighting down the arrow shaft, the reticule got smaller. That represents the accuracy. The arrow could end up anywhere within that reticule. So the smaller the reticule becomes, the more pinpoint accurate you become. At 10, know your enemy's weak point. Increased ranged weapon damage by 50% and accuracy by 18%. Enemy weak points is pretty cool. I've never actually unlocked that, so I don't know what it does specifically, other than we'll get some additional information. My lord, it is just blackness in here.
Yeah, it is actually.
I'm going to stick a torch down just because that was eerie. Pomp, can I place a torch?
You scatter the dark.
Well, yeah, in a game full of zombies, yes, I am actually quite afraid of not being able to see what's approaching me.
They're really noisy.
But that is true, actually. Yeah, they are. It's more the she-labs I'm afraid of.
I'm not back noisy.
To the, well, she's very stealthy. Back to the attribute. So this is just your base attribute, and you do have to buy that individually. Now, most perks are attached to attribute levels. Some are also attached to character levels, and I believe that there might be 1 or 2 instances of a perk that is attached to a prerequisite perk. But by and large, each attribute has its own kind of set of perks that make sense for that attribute. So for perception, marksmanship perks, and scavenging perks. So for example, Lucky Looter adds 50 to your loot bonus. It's an arbitrary number, but it effectively makes you more likely to find something when you're scavenging and to find better stuff when you find anything. It also makes you faster at looting. Also, when you've got like a treasure map or a request to find a buried item or something like that, you will have it'll narrow down where you need to look by quite a lot, because the initial area is like 10 by 10 by 10 meter area. It's not very nice. A 10 meter cubed area to have to dig through is quite a pain, whereas a 3 meter cubed area to dig through, significantly easier.
I have done this with the low salvage operation skill. It takes a nightmare. Yeah.
But for example, to unlock level 5, I would need perception of at least level 7. So Lucky Looter is one that you'd probably want to get early on because it's going to increase your scavenging ability. Salvage operations, if you've got a wrench and you're breaking down like a car or a television or something like that, you'll get more stuff out of it. That's a good one to get to minimize your wastefulness early on. And then under the gunslingers, you've got the marksmanship ones. You've got gunslinger, which helps you with pistols, the rate of fire, and how fast you can reload them. By level 3, you get additional effects on the perk. So your critical damage after 5 successful hits in a short time, your successive shots will now cause critical damage. Shotgun Messiah, more or less the same thing for shotguns, but increases the rate of fire, reload 10% faster, and there's a 5% chance to dismember limbs. Shoot someone in the leg, you blow their leg off, and then they're crawling, which makes them a lot easier to shoot.
Yep.
Specifically because they're probably crawling towards you, which means they're presenting the crown of their head at you, which makes it very easy to get a headshot. Likewise, the further down the perk tree you go, the more interesting the abilities become. We've got a similar sort of tree for automatic weapons. Deadeye, 10% better aiming with rifles. So we're talking like hunting rifles, sniper rifles. Archery, 10% faster aiming with bows, and reload and draw is faster. Now, this one doesn't have a specific kind of additional perk, which is interesting. But bows are pretty good because their ammo is super cheap and they're silent. All guns are not, unless you've got a silent head, and even then, they're not perfectly silent. Explosive weapons, so you've got bazookas, pipe bombs, anything like that. Boom headshot affects all ranged weapons. So specialize in cranial carnage as you pop enemy melons like, well, melons. The base headshot bonus is 100%. Tougher enemies will resist dismemberment. So each one increases the chance that when you shoot something in the head, you're just going to explode its head. And when they get an exploded head, they die.
Yeah, so while you've got not many points early on, this is a great one to take because it's covering all the bow and arrow and the guns you might get.
Yeah. Also, this is an example of a skill that is just as useful late game as it is early game. Because late game, you're going to be facing much more powerful enemies. But you will still have, like, if you've got level 5 boom headshot, you've still got, like, a 45% chance that every time you shoot something in the head, you're just going to kill it. Which is amazing. Especially when you're dealing with enemies with incredible, like, regenerative capabilities.
Do you know if that still works on helmeted enemies, like bikers and things like that?
Yep, cool. No, it still works on them as far as I'm aware. Run and gun, hip fire accuracy, so when you're not sighting, that's better. Do you want to go over the strength attributes, Sheila?
Yeah, did you want to go over Lucky Looters? Oh, you did that at the beginning, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so strength, okay, so it's the measure of your muscular might and improves damage with melee weapons and tools. So anything melee, anything to do with heavy hammers, lifting those, that sort of thing, that's going to be your strength. Power attacks increase melee damage by 100%, but are not efficient for harvesting. So
that's really important to be aware of, because there was in the beginning, a lot of people seemed to believe that using power attacks when you were gathering resources was better, but apparently it's not really.
Well, I think they made some changes early on in Alpha 17 to do with the power attacks. They redesigned them, I believe.
Yeah.
Because they were not very well balanced. They needed to be redone. So, general strength perks. So I'll start with the attribute. So basically your melee and block damage are going up by about 5% every time you take a level on this.
Block damage is like if a door, that would be block damage.
Or a rock, or a
likewise,
dirt,
if you're hitting rocks or trees, you're causing block damage rather than entity damage, which is something like a zombie.
Yeah, so melee damage to entity. An Aavak, yes.
Hit your Aavaks, please.
Yeah, no, I try not to. So, under general strength perks is Sexual Tyrannosaurus, which is basically to do with using your stamina better. So you would use less stamina per sort of swing of your weapon or tool. Okay,
the fact that it works on tools as well as melee weapons is a big thing to pay attention to, because mining is incredibly stamina intensive, but a few perks in Sexual Tyrannosaurus will greatly reduce that.
So Pack Mule is the next one. It's carry 4 more items without being encumbered. Now, Aavak was showing you guys earlier on, and I think I tried to show from my side as well, that in your inventory you've got certain... In fact, I will go into the inventory to show you. You've got certain little men with packs on them, and those are sort of closed off slots. Now, you can put things into those slots, but if you do, you will be encumbered. So by unlocking 4 more of those slots, you can use 4 slots more without being encumbered, basically.
Worth noting here is your hotbar also counts as inventory.
Yeah.
You can move something onto your hotbar and then it's taken out of your inventory slot. So having space on your hotbar, but you being encumbered because you've got like 1 or 2 too many items in your inventory makes no sense. Put everything you can in your hotbar and you'll lighten your load in a weird kind of gamey physics way.
Okay, then you've got under your melee combat perks 2 abilities that are to do with slashing and 3 that are to do with bashing. So Flurry of Blows is generally for... Well, actually, no, sorry, that's not... it's for everything. So anything
Flurry of Blows is anything light.
Yeah, it's a light weapon, so clubs and things like that. But if you're going to be going on to hammers and things like that, it probably won't work by the looks of that. So melee attack speed increased by 5%. So you just get faster and faster and faster at using your light weapons. Deep cuts.
Includes your fists as well.
Yeah. Deep cuts is for your slashing weapons. And that is giving you some extra power attack damage, extra bleeding, extra dismembering, all that sort of thing. Bleeding effects can stack up to 3 times, increasing the damage. Stay down is all about power attacks. So whatever you're doing with... Oh, it's apparently a club only. So I'm sure it's not just clubs, is it? I think you can do stay down with a hammer.
Yeah, I think like a hammer technically counts. Like
Counts
if
as
we're
a
talking
club
about
sort
like
of
a claw hammer, like a tool sort of thing, I think it's kind of counts.
I mean, like
as
a sledge.
club.
Yeah.
A sledgehammer counts as heavy metal.
Right.
It's the specific skill for heavy weapons.
So this is only clubs. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning here too. By actually reading through them. So power attacks do 40% more damage to stunned enemies. And there is a 60% chance for power attacks to knock foes back down. And that goes up as you go up. And it looks like when you get to level 3, you get the same as Aavak was saying earlier. The whole successive hits to cause a critical hit. But in this case, it's doing 100% extra damage instead. And then that goes down level 4. It's 4 blows and then 3 blows at level 5. Heavy metal, we've got specialized in destroying enemies with heavy weapons like sledgehammers. So that's got really similar actually things, but it's with a sledgehammer instead of a club. So stay down as if you're using clubs, heavy metal if you're using the sledgehammers. And skull crusher is with all of the melee weapons and tools. And it will just give you more chance to explode heads and do more damage with headshots.
So it's the analog for boom headshot in the marksman tree, really.
Absolutely. Then construction perks, you've got minus 69er, which makes you do more damage to blocks, and motherload, which makes you get more from trees or stone, all that sort of thing. Extra harvest. So
I think minus 69er is actually, a high minus 69er does also mean that you're going to be able to like break walls and doors better.
Yeah,
it's
it says
just gathering materials.
Yeah, it says block damage, so it's everything. Yep. Do you want to explain fortitude?
Sure. Okay. Right. And by the way, yes, we're doing this so that we can use our night time effectively. But the way that fortitude works, it's effectively your maximum health. It's one of the only ways that you can increase your maximum health pool. As far as I'm aware, it's the only way. There may be some temporary things you can do, like medicines, and I think you can even get some magazines that will increase it, but those are for a certain amount of time, and then it goes back down to normal. Amongst the perks that you get here, you've got heavy armor, so it increases armor rating and armor durability. Now that durability is one that it's sometimes overlooked. At level 5, your armor will take twice as much damage before you need to repair it, which is quite significant because some of the high tier armors take a lot to repair. They take reasonably difficult to refine resources. The huntsman harvests 20% more resources from animals using any bladed tool or weapon, which is actually pretty good, so you'll get more meat from your kill. Intrinsic immunity, increase the immune system. You can get sick in this game. There are a number of different things you can get sick from, including the lethal zombie virus. You can sort that out. While you're sick, you're going to be coughing, and generally I believe that you actually do make more sound when you're sick. So you want to try and avoid that where you can.
I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I believe you splutter, and you shiver and make those sorts of sounds more when you're sick, and that can alert sleepers if you're trying to sneak up on them. Well insulated, there is heat, and that is an important thing. Certain clothes are better at insulating heat. Some clothes are better at venting heat. Well insulated means that you're just naturally better at dealing with either type of environment up to a certain
if you're like a heavy
degrees.
Armor wearer and you know some of the heavy armors make you very hot and things like that, having this perk really helps you to manage that.
If you're in a hot environment like a desert, you're just naturally going to be hotter, or when you're near a fire, because it's a lot easier to warm up than it is to cool down in most instances. Living off the land, you can craft steeds. Now, this is super important because this is literally how you make and harvest crops. So you can make seeds from crops, and the way that the game works is every plant is re-harvestable. The moment you plant it, once it's reached maturity, you harvest it, and the plant just goes back to the stage 1 of its growth and then starts growing again. You don't necessarily get more back from the crop than you put into it. It's just that like the first time you plant a potato plant, you'll get 1 potato when you harvest it, and you need like 5 potatoes to make a seed. So as you go down through the levels of this, you'll get more back. So at the highest level, every time you harvest 1 potato plant, you'll get enough to make the seed for a new potato plant, and so you can grow your farm very quickly. It can take a long time to get a farm off the ground, but it's worth putting the points into it. Because
it's interesting that this is one of the only sort of crafting skills that is lying under the fortitude tree rather than the intelligence tree.
Yeah, that's a very good point. But it's really worth doing because it having to live off found eggs and the meat you can get off kills can be quite hard. Pain tolerance reduces HP loss by 5%, and you're much less likely to get stunned, which is super important, because if you get stun locked in melee, which can happen very easy against some of the stronger opponents, you're probably going to die. That's just the way it's going to be.
I die to stun locking so much.
Then you got recovery perks. These will give you natural regen. In fact, at the later levels, from level 3 onwards, it will increase your max health. Now, that doesn't mean that... I'm fairly certain that this is your max health up to your full health. The max health that you've unlocked. I'm fairly certain that you don't just get free max health from this. No. But rather, certain damage will reduce your maximum health. Until you're properly healed. So this will restore that naturally without you having to use a higher tier healing item to not only recover your immediate HP, but also push your max HP back up to where it's meant to be. It's kind of a way of simulating wounds, you know? Yes, you're as healthy as you can be right now with half your arm missing. Yeah. But you know what? If you had your whole arm there, you'd have more hit point total, you know, that kind of logic. Slow metabolism just means you need food and water less. And self-medicated, at the moment,
that's not in, is it?
Yeah, I believe this has been completely disabled because they couldn't get it to work properly at the time. And that's, again, this is why we're not going to be jumping into the Alpha 18 straight away, but rather just refreshing our memories on how to play Alpha 17. And by the time that we're done with a playthrough on this, then Alpha 18 will probably be in a much more stable state.
Yes.
Now, it is morning, but yeah, we can spend a little bit more time down
here. We'll just go quickly through it, shall we?
The skills. Yeah, I think so.
So agility basically is a way to increase your stamina. Okay, so you can get all the way up to 200 with it. You've got cardio, which increases your stamina regen by 10% and more when sprinting.
That's while you're sprinting. It's really important, that one.
Yeah, that's super important. I'm going to actually buy a point in that. Light armor, so this is all your light armor perks. So if you're a light armor wearer, it's exactly the same as the heavy armor that was explained earlier, but with light armor. Makes it better. So charging bull, you do more melee damage while sprinting. So if you like to sprint towards your target and whack them, which I actually do a lot, that's actually a really good one to take.
Not just that, but like later on, it changes as well.
Oh yes,
like at level
sorry.
3.
You take less damage while sprinting, so basically if you are running away while sprinting, then that might be quite useful as well.
Yeah.
Parkour, it increases your fall distance, so there is fall damage in this, and you can take that and take less fall damage, so you can jump off big, high buildings. Jump 2 meters higher and never get a broken leg at level 5. Olympic swimmer, you can swim faster and hold your breath for longer. Ninja movement, you can be very sneaky. So basically when you're crouching and you're sneaking, you go very slowly. This will increase your speed while you're doing that. Hidden strike will give you extra damage when you're doing a sneak attack. So if you're crouched and you shoot a bow from sneak, or you manage to sneak up and club someone over the head, you'll do extra damage, more likely with a bow.
It's worth being aware here, though, that something can still be aware of you even if you're crouched, so it has to be against unaware enemies. If you've just shot someone in the back of the head from crouched, you're not going to get sneak damage again by just shooting them before you stand up.
It would have to be like a sleeper or something like that,
Yeah.
And obviously from the shadows is what helps you not wake them up. So you can hide in the shadows 15% more effectively, and noises from actions are muffled 10%. So if you want to chop down a door or window while crouched, you'll do that more quietly. Okay, so intelligence.
All right. Intellect is probably everyone puts points into this. Like, I don't think anyone has a build where they don't put some points into this one, unless they're specifically trying to not craft in what is effectively a crafting game, which seems a little bit derpy. But to be fair, there are some really good challenge styles for this game. There's quite a few different types of challenge runs that people can do, and some of them do include never crafting anything, so you have to just scavenge for things. But that said, there's still some things in here that are worth taking, even if you're not going for crafting. But every point in intelligence increases the quality of items you craft, their level, which increases how much damage they do, how much damage they can take, how much durability they have, so on and so forth. And it increases how fast you can do it. The influence perks, now these are the ones that you might still want to take even if you were doing a no crafting run. Better barterer, get 10% better deal when you're with a trader and 5% better deal selling. Later on, you get better secret stash. So the trader likes you so much, they're going to show you their stash of things that they reserve for only their favorite customers. The daring adventurer, you can get more quest rewards because the traders will give you quests. And with high levels in this, you can get more choices for what type of reward you want. So you'll have a larger selection, so there's a better chance you'll see something that you actually want. But at the very high levels, you'll get straight up more dukes, casino duke tokens. Sorry, these. So you'll just get more money for it. But at the highest level, you can choose 2 quest rewards per quest. That's huge, genuinely huge.
Yeah.
Charismatic nature. This helps allies. Allies nearby to you will gain perks from you just being there and being really supportive and reassuring. And then you've got the craftsmanship perks. Hammer and Forge lets the different levels here. This is one of the ones that require character level. They are locked not just by the level of the perk itself, but by the level of the character who's got this. So the first level is you can make a forge and you can start making forged iron. Then you can make iron tools and weapons, as well as leather armor. Then you can build a workbench, which is required for a lot of the more complex types of devices that you can make, like crossbows and the like. You can craft iron armor and a crucible to allow you to make steel, which is one of the higher level refined items. Then level 4 is Steelworker. You can now craft steel items and tools. And level 5, you can craft military grade and steel armor, which is pretty important. Grease Monkey allows you to build the various vehicles that are in the game. You can have bicycles, mini bikes, motorcycles, 4x4 trucks, and gyrocopters. Advanced Engineering allows you to build the workbench, table saw, crossbow, compound bow, mining helmet, and basic electrical components. Oh, what was the hammer forge one? Oh, at the workbench, you can craft iron armor. I do apologize. But yes, advanced engineering lets you get to the more interesting devices. You can make guns and ammo, that sort of thing. Craft SMGs, craft hunting rifles, craft shotgun turrets, rocket launchers, and nail guns, craft auto turrets, chainsaws, and augers. They can be used as weapons, but they are much better at being used for harvesting. The chainsaw, obviously, for trees and wood, like chainsawing through a wooden wall, and the auger is for mining. You can use it on things like dirt, and it's super fast, but really this is where you want to be if you're going to be building an underground base or in a mountain or something. Yes, science, you can craft all sorts of things like chemistry stations, so you can make gunpowder, you can make the alcohol, the various things like pipe bombs, and the mines. You can also start making military fiber, dynamite. This is where, science is basically where you need to be to start playing with electricity and making a automated self-defending base with booby traps and the like. It's super fun. Precision, this is how you make the higher tier healing items. And also some of the boosters, stuff that will give you a temporary boost to your various stats. And then Master Chef, which is the only one that is unlocked straight away. All of the others require fairly high levels of higher levels of intelligence to start unlocking. But Master Chef allows you to make the basic food types, and later on make some really, really good food types that can last you for most of the game. And there we are. That's the whole skill tree
Yeah.
in a nutshell.
So let's take some points.
Yeah, because I've just been sat on 5 skill points, just desperate to spend them. What are you going for, Sheila?
I took a couple. So I already took healing factor.
Mm-hmm.
And
that makes sense, yeah.
Cardio. That's all I've taken so far.
These are two pretty standard ones to go for because they have such a massive impact.
I will also be taking Skull Crusher.
Okay, yeah, so you can get the melee headshots. Nice.
And stay down.
Okay. I'm going to grab a point of intelligence so that I can make better types of tools for us. With that, I'm tempted to get Sexual Tyrannosaurus so that melee and tool use stamina.
Yeah, I may get that as well, just for the using the melee. The other thing is though the pain resistance one. I'm not sure. It's either that or
to avoid the stun locking.
Yeah, I might do that actually.
Well, I'm not going to be going for my stealthy ninja approach yet, so I am going to grab Sexual Tyrannosaurus and just melee my way through things. But beyond that, I guess one of us should grab a cooking skill. So I'll grab Master Chef so that I can make tea. I would grab it anyway, even if you got it, because I want to be able to make tea.
No, I didn't take it. I've just taken, just for this first level, this first set of skill points, I'm taking things that will just help me bash things.
Yeah, that makes sense.